Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, we are talking about Summer of '84. So I watched this on Shudder. It is available to watch on there. If you're not sure what Shudder is, it's basically like Netflix for horror. I know that it's available here in the US, and I know that they just recently got it in Australia as well. I'm not sure where else it is available, and this is by no means sponsored or anything like that. But yeah, that is where I watched it. Now, if you don't know what Summer of '84 is about, it's basically an 80s nostalgia type film. You have this group of kids you have this group of young teenagers who are convinced one of their neighbors is a serial killer, and they try and spy on him and investigate to try to figure out what's going on. Now, this is a film that I did react to the trailer when it came out, and I was initially excited for it, though when it was released, I didn't hear a lot of great things about the film from other people, so I just kind of put off watching it till now, and I can definitely understand why maybe people didn't like this film. There's aspects of this film that I didn't like, and there's parts of the film that I did like in general. I think it's a pretty good film. I think it's still pretty enjoyable if you are someone who really enjoys 80s nostalgia type films, similar to like It and things like that. You may enjoy this film. Now, this film is nowhere near as scary or really like horror driven as It is, and I think that maybe is an aspect to it. I feel like the film was definitely portrayed as that it was going to be more scary than it was, and unfortunately it's really not. It's not a scary film, and now it does get dark, and that's where this film gets a little weird, is that the majority of the film is pretty lighthearted, even though it is talking about a serial killer who's murdering children. You don't get a lot of details on that at first, and a lot of it is just kind of that lighthearted 80s type comedy. I mean, they're young teenage boys, so there's a lot of like, I fucked your mom jokes, and the joking about trying to get laid, even though none of them have, which is weird in itself because it's teenage boys, but it's just very 80s in that way. If you've seen 80s films, and I am a big lover of the 80s. I love 80s nostalgia films, even though I personally wasn't born until the 90s, but I do love films like Stand By Me and The Goonies, and this kind of goes in that way, has, like I said, the same very similar sense of humor, so it is very lighthearted, and then it takes this weird, very dark turn towards the end of the film. Once you find out who the killer is, what exactly is going on, that's when things start to get dark, and it gets dark pretty quickly, and I liked it. It was just kind of weird in comparison to the vibe of the rest of the film, and also just felt like it ended up going a little long, like maybe they weren't really sure how to end the film, so it just takes a weird turn and goes a little longer than maybe it needed to. And I don't know if this film intentionally ended with the ability to maybe go make a sequel. I don't know if that's something that is gonna happen. If that does happen, I'll definitely check it out. But it just ends oddly. And I don't want to give too much away, because I do think if you haven't checked out this film, you definitely still should. I will just say, and I don't really feel like this is too much spoiler, but with the very final shot of this film, you have Davy, who's the main character, kind of the leader of the pack, and he has gone through this traumatic thing, and then he's just like instantly back to doing like his paper route, which is kind of what led to all of this, and all these other events that they mentioned all kind of happen very quickly. He has this female neighbor who they have this very interesting dynamic. It's mentioned throughout that she's going to be moving away, that she's going to be leaving. You don't really know where or why, but she does at the end, and he doesn't even get to like say goodbye to her. He just like waves to her, and then you see his friends tearing down their you see two of his friends tearing down their tree fort, and that's kind of weird. It's like it all happened very like quickly, and I get that maybe they're trying to wrap all that up, but it was just kind of odd to have all of that happen at once. Like literally no time has passed since these horrific events, and that was just another aspect that I wasn't a big fan of as well. And also just kind of the characters in general. Not that I really had necessarily any problem with any of them. They, as far as their acting goes, they actually all did a really, really good job. I could definitely see them going on to doing more things. It was just their chemistry was off. I didn't really believe their friendship. I felt like certain actors had more chemistry together, and then some of them had like no chemistry whatsoever. I definitely thought the kid that played Woody did a really, really good job. He was actually probably the best in this and probably my favorite. I felt like he had a really good chemistry with basically everybody. But yeah, certain characters just had more chemistry than others, and just didn't believe that they were like these lifelong best friends. It just, I don't know, it felt a little off, so that was kind of the only thing. But in general, like, everybody did still do a great job outside of that. And it was a really enjoyable film. I still really liked it, so I think it is, if you've wanted to see it but you've put it off, I still think it's worth watching, especially if you have a Shudder account and you've got some time to kill and you're just looking for something to watch. I still suggest checking it out, because I still did enjoy it, and I think it will be something, I may watch again in the future. I was going to say pop in, but I'm sure I will watch this again in the future. I didn't fall in love with it, but I didn't hate the film either. So if you've seen Summer of '84, let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more horror-related content, and I'll see you guys again later with another video. Bye!